Hi Tacoma, welcome back to your first grade TV classroom. Today is Monday, November 9th, and I'm Mrs. Oslin. As always, before we begin, let's take a moment to check in with our emotions. Think about what's happening in your brain, what's happening in your body. Think about using an I message. You'll remember an I message sounds like I feel because And then think about the feelings thermometer. How strongly are you feeling your emotion? Take some think time. Now, practice sharing your I message with your learning buddy, someone who's in the room with you, or with me on the screen. I'm going to practice with Rashid. Rashid, I'm feeling hungry, but I'm not feeling so hungry that I'm hangry, so I think I'll be okay. I just need to remember to eat my lunch after this. Have you ever been so hungry that you start to get angry? I have. We call that hangry, and that's not a good feeling to have. That makes it very hard to focus. You'll remember, today and every day when we come together, your job is to listen, share, and read and write. And you know you're being a strong listener when you keep your eyes on the screen, when you listen to the books or the stories or the things I'm asking you to think about, and when you think about the words. When it's time to share, I do want you to share your ideas. You're going to talk about the book or talk about your feelings or talk about your ideas. And then if someone is in the room with you also sharing their ideas, make sure that you take turns and practice listening to the other person's ideas because they probably have a different perspective than you and you might learn something from them. We've been practicing using our I messages like we just did, thinking about how we're feeling and how strongly we're feeling it. And it's really important for us to be able to do this because the person that we're expressing our feelings to might not know how we're feeling just by looking at us, or they might feel a different way. And again, they have a different perspective. We practiced thinking about how strongly we're feeling an emotion and recognizing that if we're at a 4 or a 5 feeling something really strongly, practicing stop and think. Practice that with me. Stop and think before you do or say something that you might regret. After you have had a chance to stop and think, we've been practicing going through the stop and stay cool steps to get us refocused and ready to share our I message. The first step in the stop and stay cool steps is to say, I feel like I'm losing control. Say that with me. I feel like I'm losing control. Then we stop. We give ourselves a chili hug. Practice doing this with me. Then we breathe in for 5 and breathe out for 5. So let's practice doing this so that when we are actually using our stop and stay cool steps, we know exactly what and how to do it. Here we go. Breathe in for 5. After you've had a chance to breathe, hopefully you are cool and ready for school, ready to share your I message with someone. We have been talking about learning how to find a win-win solution to a conflict. And it's important for us to find a win-win solution to a conflict so that both people get some of what they want and both people feel okay with the outcome so that we can continue being friends. So here is a situation. I want you to think about whether or not this is a win-win solution where both people get some of what they want and both people feel good about it. Or if it's a win-lose situation where one person gets what they want and feels pretty good, the other person doesn't get what they want and they don't feel good. or if it's a lose-lose situation where nobody gets what they want and nobody feels good about it. So it's a brand new school year, and two students have one set of brand new markers, and they both want to use them. This is a conflict. This is a problem. What would be a win-win solution? Take some think time. What if the two students start to fight and argue over the crayons, and then the teacher comes over, or the parent, or the other adult comes over and just takes the crayons and said, no one gets them? Is that a win-win solution? No, that's a lose-lose solution because nobody got what they want and nobody feels good about it. And now the conflict is bigger because the two kids are fighting over the markers. How could these students solve this conflict? There are 5 different, well, there's more than that, but today we're going to talk about 5 different win-win solutions. There is share, take turns, apologize, fix the problem, and get help. The first one is share. You share when you have a conflict if you both use it together, much like these kids sharing the blocks. They're playing with the blocks together. This is a win-win solution because both kids get to play with the blocks and both kids feel good about this. Now think back to our marker situation. Could the students share the markers? Could they use them together? Would that be a win-win solution? Absolutely. Let's think about another win-win solution. Take turns, much like the kids in this picture. There's only one water fountain that they can reach. They're taking turns. One person gets to go first, and then the next person gets an equal amount of time. Now think back to our markers. Could they take turns with the markers where one student gets to use them first, and then the second student gets a turn? Take some think time. Tell your learning buddy what you're thinking. Rashid, I think that the students could take turns, but I'm sensing another conflict. How do they decide who gets to go first? Did you have a similar idea to mine? I have some ideas. You could flip a coin to decide who gets to go first. You see on this coin there's a head. Well, on the other side of the coin there's a bird. Call that tails. So we could flip a coin. One person gets heads, the other person gets tails, and whoever's side is up, that person gets to go first. Remembering that when their turn is over, it's the other person's turn and they get an equal amount of time. You could also choose a short straw where you have a couple different straws and one of them is short and you both draw a straw and whoever gets the short straw gets to go first. Remembering that when that person's time is up, the next person gets a turn for an equal amount of time. You could also do rock, paper, scissors. A lot of you know this game, I'm sure, where you start like this and you say with the other person, rock, paper, scissors, shoot. And you pick rock, paper, or scissors. And then the other person also picks at the same time. Now, how this works is rock crushes scissors. So if you do rock and your partner does scissors, you get to go first. If you do scissors and they do paper, well, scissors cut paper, so you get to go first. If they do paper and you do rock, paper covers rock, so they get to go first. That's how you decide 3 ways for you to decide who goes first if you're going to take turns. It's a win-win solution because both people get some of what they want and both people feel good about it. Taking turns is hard. It is hard to wait your turn. Even as an adult, I have a hard time waiting my turn. But it's an important part of being a member of a community or a family or a classroom. And we need to keep it fair in that if we're taking turns, setting a timer can help you remember how long you get so that both of you get equal amounts of time with whatever it is that you're working with. There are times when we do something, and whether we mean to or not, we break something or we ruin something or we hurt someone's feelings. And if that happens, you need to apologize. And so I'm thinking of this situation where I had this project, this art project that I was working on, and someone came by and bumped the table right as I was writing, and it made my pen go all across my paper that I had worked so hard on. Well, you can't undo that. So do you know what the other person did? They said, sorry. Now, does that sound like a sincere, real apology? No, that didn't make me feel better. It probably didn't make them feel better either. So what if they said it like this? Sorry. Is that a sincere apology? No, they're not looking at me. They're not telling me what they're sorry for. And the way they said it tells me they don't really feel sorry. So when someone apologizes, it needs to sound like, I'm sorry for So in this case, someone could say, I'm sorry I bumped the table and ruined your piece. Look me in the eye, tell me that they're sorry, and say what they're sorry for. That's what we call a sincere apology. Now, there's two parts to an apology. There's the part where the person sincerely apologizes, and then whoever's been harmed or wronged can either say, I accept your apology, or thank you for apologizing. That's the second part of an apology. Now, let's think about this situation. This is similar to our marker situation, but instead of markers, we're going to talk about crayons. There's one box of crayons. They're brand new crayons, and both students want to be the first to use the nice, sharp blue crayon. What could be a win-win solution where both people get some of what they want and both people feel okay about it? Take some think time, remembering, share, take turns, apologize. Turn and tell your learning buddy what you're thinking about how these students could solve this solution with a win-win. Rashid, I'm noticing there's a couple different shades of blue in this box of crayons, so I wonder if there are two different shades of blue and one student could use one and one student could use the other. So they're kind of sharing. Did you come up with a different way for these students to have a win-win solution? There's lots of win-win solutions. Here's another situation. Think about how these people could solve this in with a win-win solution. Could they share, take turns, apologize? There are two sisters. There's one pretzel left in the house. They both want it. What are they going to do? This is a big problem. Take some think time. Tell your learning buddy what a win-win solution would be for these sisters. Rashid, I think they could share. They could split it right down the middle and each get half. That would be a win-win solution because both people get some of what they want, they both get some pretzel, and both people feel pretty good about that. You might have had a different idea. As long as it's a win-win solution, it's the one we want. Now, think about this. Your friend gets a new haircut and they walk in with their haircut and you laugh at them. How could we solve the problem? What would be a win-win solution for having laughed at your friend's haircut? Share, take turns, apologize. Take some think time. Turn and tell your learning buddy how you would solve this problem. Rashid, I think I need to apologize, and I need to make sure it's a sincere apology, where I look the person in the eye, I use a sincere, real voice, and I say, I'm sorry for laughing at your haircut. And then the other person would get a chance to either thank me for the apology or accept the apology. Now, just because you apologize doesn't mean the other person automatically feels okay. So after you've apologized, it's important to give that person space. And it's okay for them to not be happy with you. Okay, one more situation. You have a brand new pencil and your friend accidentally breaks it. What would be a win-win solution to this problem where both people get some of what they want and both people feel good about it? Take some think time. Turn and tell your learning buddy what your win-win solution is to this situation. I heard a lot of different ideas, and as long as both people get some of what they want and both people feel okay and good with it, then it is an ideal situation. Today we learned about how to find win-win solutions to solving a conflict. You'll remember a conflict is a problem that we have with someone else. They happen all the time. It's normal and natural to have a conflict with someone. What's important is how you solve it, trying really hard to make sure that both people get some of what they want and both people feel okay with the solution. Some ways that you could solve any conflict with a win-win is to share, take turns, apologize, fix the problem, or get help. And get help is if you can't solve it in any other way, you can ask an adult for help. Today, I want you to write about how you used a win-win solution to solve a conflict. You're also going to continue building your independent reading stamina, reading for longer and longer periods of time. Go on a snap word hunt and look for our new snap words that we learned last week. You're also going to practice reading your word wall. Now, I am hoping that some of you are going to be super brave and be okay with it. Ask your adult if they can film you reading your kindergarten word wall, either loud like a monster, scary like a witch, squeaky like a mouse, whisper like a secret, or invent your own. And then you can email it to us here at our TV classroom, and we would love to be able to share that. If you're not comfortable being filmed, there's our email address. If you're not comfortable being filmed, you can always just write a letter and tell us how you're doing it, and we'll share your idea. Now, I've heard some of you who are watching these lessons, I got your names from your teacher, and I'm going to send you a note this week, and it's going to have an envelope in it that has my address and stamp on it. So all you have to do is write a letter back and mail it back to me, and I will read it here on our TV classroom. Now, I want to remind you that Wednesday, November 11th is Veterans Day. That's the day that we have off. There is no school. The TV lessons will be reruns. They'll be lessons that you've already seen because that's a day when we take off work to remember and think about and honor the people who have served for our country. So now it's your break time. Think about gathering your materials, taking care of your needs, and being back here in 5 minutes ready for math. The materials that you will need are your whiteboard and marker, your learning buddy, and your counters. Gather those materials and then come back for math with Mrs. Wally. Thank you so much for thinking with me today, first graders. Hope you have a great day, and I will see you tomorrow. Bye.
Hi, first graders. Welcome back from your break. I hope you had an awesome break. It is Make It Monday. Are you ready? Okay. So I'm going to show you a number, and you're going to use a number line, and you're going to think of all the ways that you can make the number 12. Are you ready? As you're waiting for it to come up, I want you to think, how can I make the number 12? All right. What are some ways that we can make the number 12? Well, let's see. What was that, Rashid? 10 plus 2. That makes 12. What's another way? 9 plus 3. That makes 12. 9, 10, 11, 12. 8 plus 4. 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. What about 7 and 5? Does that make 12? It does. Now, there's just 6 left. 6 and 1 doesn't make 12. 6 and 0 doesn't make 12. What makes 12? What was that, Pebble? 6 and 6. It's a double. It makes 12. Nice job, first graders. Today we're learning to solve problems where we're asked how many fewer there are. Ooh, this is a tricky one. Are you ready? Okay, so now we're going to count on from the number 3. Are you ready? Get your counting voices ready. We're going to start at 3. Say 3. What's next? 4, 5, 6, 7. How many numbers did we count after 3? 4 of them. I wonder if that's going to help us today in our math. Let's do 6. Here we go. Say 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay, say 4. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Very good. All right. There's 2 problems here. They're written, they're actually the same problem. I don't know why it's there twice. That's silly, isn't it? We're just gonna, you know what we're gonna do? We're gonna solve it 2 ways. How about we do that? That's a good idea. That's using our strong math brains. So I'm gonna get my white pen out, and you're gonna get your marker out in your whiteboard. There are 4 umbrellas. There are 6 animals. Are there more animals or more umbrellas? Oh, well, I don't know. What should we do? Maybe we should use our whiteboard. Should I use my whiteboard? Okay, let's use our whiteboards. I'm going to use 2 colors, okay? Okay, so 4 umbrellas. Here we go. You ready? 4 umbrellas and 6 animals. All right, I wrote them. Is that going to help me? What could I do to help me know which one is more? What was that, Rashid? Rashid said, get out your counters, Mrs. Wally. Okay. And then what should I do, Rashid? Put them in a line going down under the number? Okay, so how many for umbrellas? 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, now what should I do? Scoot it over like that? Okay, now what should I do? Do the same thing but for umbrellas. Well, how many umbrellas? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. At home, can you make your counters look like mine? Okay. And what was our question? Are there more animals or umbrellas? What do you think? How do you know it's animals? Oh, because it has more, doesn't it? How many more does it have? The same, the same, the same, the same. Oh no, no more partners. The different part, how many more? 2 more. Okay, I noticed something was very tricky about these questions. Did anyone spot how these questions were different? Are there fewer animals or umbrellas? The top one asked which one had more. The bottom one's asking which one has fewer. Which one has fewer? Animals or umbrellas? How did you know it was umbrellas? Oh, because fewer means less, not as many. And there's partner, 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 partner. Oh no, it doesn't have as many. How many fewer does it have? How many is it missing? 2. So there are 2 fewer umbrellas and 2 more animals. Okay. Are you ready? Here we go. I don't know, first graders. I think you're ready. Are you ready? I'm going to read this problem and you might go, I don't get it, Mrs. Wally. And that's okay. I'm going to help you. Before we start, I want you to draw this. Okay, draw that on your board. Great. It says, there are 5 children. There are only 3 rain hats. How many children will not have a rain hat? Okay. Which box should be the children? Which one's more, children or rain hat? This is going to be the children. Okay. And this top one's going to be the rain hat. Okay. Well, let's see if we can put some of our information in. There are 5 children. Where should I put my counters for children? In the children box. How many? 5. 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh, not big enough. It's a great thing about a whiteboard. I can make it big enough. 5. Okay, 5 children. How many rain hats? 3. 1, 2, 3. What's my question? How many children will not have a rain hat? Well, which ones don't have a rain hat? Oh, it's this part right here that doesn't have a rain hat, isn't it? So how many children, if we were to put an imaginary line right here, these are the children that have a rain hat. These are the children that don't. How many children don't have a rain hat? 2. Now I wonder if there's an equation we could write that would make this make sense. Well, I have 5 children, and I can take away the part that have rain hats, can't I? To find out the part that doesn't have rain hats. How many have rain hats? 3. And that means how many children don't have rain hats? 2. 2 children. Oh dear. Not the right color, Mrs. Wally. 2 children will not have rain hats. I wonder if we can try this strategy again. Carefully take off your counters. Do 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 do. Erase all of your data from there. Okay, here we go. There are 6 baseballs. There are 3 baseball bats. Are there fewer baseballs or baseball bats? Well, which box should we have be the baseballs? The bottom one, because there's more. Okay, these are the baseballs. Which ones should be the bats? The top one, because there's less of them, right? Oh, do you remember what I said earlier about less? Not as many means fewer. Let's see if we're right. You ready? How many baseballs? 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I'm going to make this one a little bit shorter. How many bats? 3. 1, 2, 3. Are there fewer baseballs or fewer bats? Bats. How many fewer? Oh, Rashid said, Mrs. Wally, find the part that's the same. We found the same part. If I want to know how many fewer, I find out the different part, the part that there's not enough for. How many? 3. Ooh, that's good thinking, first graders. Now, fewer. Say fewer. Fewer. Can you think of an example that shows fewer? I'm not going to write them on here. We're going to give some examples here. Okay. Help me think. What could be something we could compare? Oh. Okay. You could do pies. There are 7 pumpkin pies. Pumpkin pies. There's 7 of them. 1. I love pumpkin pie. Do you love pumpkin pie? Do you want to know a funny story about my brother? My brother loves pumpkin pie, but he does not like the crust of pumpkin pie. So one year I was in charge of making the pies for Thanksgiving. And you know what I made? A crustless pumpkin pie. And he ate all the pumpkin pie filling and didn't have to have any crust. He said it was his favorite dessert ever. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Isn't that a funny story? There's 7 pumpkin pies and 4, what's another kind of pie you like? Do you like berry pie? I love berry pie. Now I really want some pie. 4 berry pies. Here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4. Which is fewer? The berry pie, because there's not as many. We can draw our imaginary line for the part that's different. It's not imaginary if we draw it, but we put it there so you can see it. We pretend, when you get a little bit further in first grade, we'll just pretend the line's there. We have the part that's the same, we take away the part that's the same, and we're left with the part that's different. If we were going to write it in an equation, it'd be 7 minus what part's the same? Yeah, 4, right? They both have 4. 4 equals the part that's different. What's left? 3. That's why we call it a difference. It's the amount that's different between the two numbers. Pretty cool, huh? Okay, let's do another one. Okay, think of something you like. I wonder what we could compare. I know. Here we go. There are 3, no. There are 8 friends, but only 2 PlayStation controllers. Where am I going to put the friends? Which one's more? Friends. 8 friends, 2 controllers. Which one's fewer? Which one's fewer? Yeah, the controllers. There's not as many. So we showed what fewer was. Now, for your assignment today, you're going to talk about the word compare. The whole time today we've been comparing, right? We have. So think about what you know about subtracting to compare. Fill in each box, use words, numbers, and pictures. Show as many as you can. Okay? All right. So now it is time for our affirmation. Down below, you will find the email address. You can send us an email. We would love to hear from you. Or, like Miss Oslin said, you can always send us a letter in the mail with our mailing address at the end. All right? All right. So our affirmation today is, today I'm going to be my best self. And every day that looks different because different things happen on different days. But it's important that you're always your best self. So I'm going to go first and then you're going to go. Today I'm going to be my best self. Your turn. Excellent job, first graders. We will see you tomorrow. Bye.
Hey kids, we want to see your work. Just send your pictures and your stories to TV Classroom, 601 South 8th Street, Tacoma, Washington, 98405.